Hello, everyone. Hello, Zach.
Hello, everybody.
So we are here to talk about crypto market, and we are streaming both on my and your social media. So let's talk. Pretty interesting days behind us. ETFs are coming, not only on BTC but also on ETH probably, and probably many altcoins will grow, and there are many altcoins on this sphere that may have a huge uprising potential. I'm really curious to hear from you, Zach. What do you think about the market right now? What is your main focus right now? Maybe what's your main holding? Because many people are getting from BTC to ETH.
Yeah. Well, first off, Julian, thanks so much for doing this and putting this together. I love collaborating with different people and getting to see, kind of how they see the markets and what they're thinking about. And so, yeah, this is great. I love this kind of stuff, and I hope everybody out there who's listening and watching gets something from this too. Bitcoin to me is how I always put it. It's my backbone of my portfolio, right? So it allows me to take risk because I dollar cost average into Bitcoin every single day. And in addition to that, I do a little bit of that with Ethereum as well, but mostly Bitcoin because, again, it allows me then to take some more risk in altcoins. So that's kind of how I've always played the market since I came in. I dabbled a little bit in 2017, but didn't really get fully invested into crypto until 2020. And I'll give you kind of a glimpse of some other cryptos that I really like. In addition to just Bitcoin and Ethereum, I'm also a big believer in Caspa, which is a proof of work cryptocurrency. That's one of my top holdings. And in addition to that, I really like Cardano and Polygon, as well as a couple altcoins. Polygon, I think, really goes unnoticed right now. I think it's one that has done the most in terms of bridging the gap from Web 2 to Web 3. We don't talk about it enough. And I think eventually, when we see the tokenization of real world assets, I think Polygon is going to be really situated nicely there as well. I think that's going to be kind of the next big wave, is the tokenization of basically everything, right? And I think that's really going to set blockchain and
So are you holding Polygon right now? Are you holding Matic?
I am, yeah. I do hold Polygon Matic. It's my 5th largest holding right now, behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, Caspa, and Cardano. So I think right now nobody's talking about Polygon. I think those are usually the best times to invest in Polygon. That's at least my 2 cents, simply because, when you're looking at Polygon and it's, down a little bit and, it's quiet, I feel like those are the times where you want to get in. When the hype ramps up, sometimes it's oftentimes too late, to jump in. If you're looking to time the market a little bit, I know it's hard to time it perfectly, but I think it's a pretty solid time to get into Polygon. It's been kind of consolidating down there for a while, and I do think it's going to have a really good bull run.
It seems like that. It's on the support area from June 22. And but think that in Polygon, in Matic, for me, which is kind of suspicious, kind of scary, is that huge green area right there in 2021 April to BTC, and that's why I didn't invest it in Matic still, but I'm considering. So you believe that this is the time for Matic to stay at that levels, the lowest levels right here, and then go upwards. Don't break this sphere right here, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I think it's got some strong backing, strong support here, and I think as long as the overall market kind of at least stays, kind of similar here, at least doesn't, sell off completely, I do think Polygon eventually is going to make a run, over $1.50. That's kind of my target, in the into the midterm, and at least then, kind of gear up for the bigger run, which I think will come in the bull run. But the one thing about Polygon, and Julian, I want your thoughts on like what other altcoins you like. One thing about Polygon I wish that they had, and they don't have it yet, is they don't have a really strong community. And it's interesting because, obviously they've got a huge backing in India. A lot of their founders are from there, but they don't have like the community, say, like Cardano has, right? Where like if I make a Cardano video on YouTube, the whole community comes out and supports. I don't see that yet with Polygon, but I do think that could change. Maybe it's a little bit more, backed by the big institutional money and the VC money right now, but eventually maybe that'll shift into retail. But that's kind of what I see right now. That's the one thing I necessarily, don't like about Polygon, or one of the things I'm a little concerned about. But overall, the fundamentals I think are great. I think you've seen them, have huge partnerships with huge brands like Starbucks. Their NFT space has grown tremendously here in the last year, and you've had Starbucks, you've had Mercedes Benz, Disney. I mean, some of the biggest brands are getting into.
Meta.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because of Polygon.
Yeah, and you hold ADA also, Cardano.
Yes, yes. I like Cardano too. Do you like Cardano? Are you?
I don't use Cardano to be honest. I use Binance Smart Chain. I use, of course, BTC, ETH, but sometimes Polygon. But to be honest, not Cardano. And do you use Cardano by?
I do. I might have lost you.
Okay, how do you hear me right now? Is it right?
Yep. I think it's good.
The connection is all right, okay? Because we lost the connection.
Yeah, it's good now. I can hear you now. Yeah, you froze on my screen. I don't know if I froze too.
Yeah, you froze too. Okay. We were talking about Cardano, and I told you that I don't really use Cardano, and I hear from many people that Cardano is a blockchain of the future, etc. Of course, Charles Hoskinson is a person who is some kind of charismatic developer, etc., and CEO. But as I use in my daily basis, I mean Binance Smart Chain, as I use ETH sometimes for swaps, I don't really use Cardano. So my question is, what is your experience in that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really, to be honest with you, dabbled too much on the Cardano blockchain in terms of using it. But I think they're growing their DeFi ecosystem. I think if you go to a great website to look at is cardanocube.io. And I think one of the common conceptions is like that Cardano's not really getting into everything, and they really are. I mean, their DeFi ecosystem has grown tremendously. They're getting into gaming. Um, and I think, when it comes to ADA, I think it's just a good hedge against Ethereum, a good alternative, because I think they're so different. And I know a lot of people like to kind of pick one or the other. Like they have to like kind of say, hey, I'm either all in on Ethereum or I don't like Ethereum and I'm going, with a competitor. I never really look at it like that, as an investor. I want exposure to a lot of different smart contract platforms. And Cardano just does things very different than Ethereum. One of the reasons why Hoskinson, said that he left Ethereum in the first place, they didn't see eye to eye, him and Vitalik. And, the Cardano founder, Hoskinson, very strategic, right? Takes a very like long-term approach, takes them a long time to get things done. But when they do get done, it seems like they're very secure and they're kind of ready to go versus Ethereum kind of, let's just push it out there. We'll worry about the kinks as we go. So more or less, that's kind of the way I look at it. It's kind of a difference in philosophy. And I think there are going to be some other smart contract platforms that do well outside of Ethereum. I think there are room for a few. And that's why I bet big on Cardano and the community. I mean, let's face it, when we think about cryptos, yes, they have to have a use case, but they have to have people using it. And Cardano have a rampant community. And I'm excited about what we can do in this next bull run too. We saw Bitcoin have its cycle 2 cycles ago. It's real big move. Ethereum this previous cycle, and now I think it's time for some other competitors to really make a big push. That's such a good there.
By the way, how do you hear me right now? Do you hear my voice clear or?
I hear myself a little bit on the echo, but I hear you now. I don't. I hear it perfect now. Now it's perfect.
Because sometimes I cannot understand what you are talking because of the sound, and I see that somebody's writing, yeah, that the sound is bad. Maybe I should use my AirPods. Wait,
Yeah.
So wait a sec, please. Okay, I cannot use this right now. Some technical problems. All right, let's move on. By the way, if you guys will hear me bad or will hear Zach badly, please write, and we'll try to fix it right at the moment. Problem with connection. All right, so we were talking about Cardano. We were talking about Matic, and I'm really curious right now. What do you believe about ETH and about XRP maybe? Because there is going to be a huge event in May, and people are started to talking about ETFs on ETH. So what if the history will repeat? And what if the market will start betting on ETFs acceptance in mind. So the history looks like this. The market, this whole area right here, since October 2023 until today, this whole growth of Bitcoin was started from fake news about Bitcoin ETF's acceptance. It was, as you remember, from Cointelegraph, right? They posted it, and Bitcoin spiked right here. It was right here, probably, yes. And just after that, BTC started to grow in even more. And what if the history will repeat? And what if people will start betting on Ethereum ETFs? Do you believe that this is a good strategy to hold ETH right now versus BTC, or to hold BTC right now? What do you believe? What will be more profitable in next couple of months until May?
That's a really good question. And a really good point you made there too. You're right. I mean, the market certainly bet on Bitcoin ETFs, and we saw that, speculation definitely helped drive, BTC's price there in all of last year. It's crazy. We went from 16,000 to 44,000, and nobody really talked about Bitcoin at all in 2023, but that was a big move. I think Ethereum ETFs will probably come eventually. I feel as strongly about the Ethereum ETF in the United States as I did the Bitcoin ETF? No. And here's why. The SEC, obviously, if you guys have followed this in the United States, they've really done a lot to kind of tear down crypto. It's kind of been a big blockade for crypto to really advance in the US. And the SEC, even saying all that, they've always looked at Bitcoin as a commodity, right? They've always looked at Bitcoin as quote unquote safe. So I felt really good about a Bitcoin ETF because even the SEC, who tries to label everything as security, saw Bitcoin as property, saw it as a commodity. There isn't that feeling right now about Ethereum, right? And because Ethereum went to proof of stake, I think that hurts their chances. I do think it gets done, but I think it's going to be a much longer process. It's interesting, Julian, because I think in the United States, you've actually got, in my opinion, more clarity thus far on XRP than you do Ethereum, right? At least in the United States, with the partial victory that they had in July, and we'll see what happens kind of this year as it plays out on the institutional side. But you can make, I think, a decent argument to say that, hey, maybe an XRP based ETF, or at least XRP would get more institutional adoption in the US before Ethereum. Now, I do think they're going to have to at least tackle the Ethereum question here sooner rather than later, because as you know, and everybody out there, as Ethereum goes, so goes the entire altcoin market, right? And there's a lot of questions there. But I think if you want to place bets on Ethereum, I don't think it's a bad decision. But I do think people need to also look at the US and say, okay, well, don't rule out the possibility of them, putting that to the back burner and working on XRP first, right? They've already kind of got that lawsuit underway and it's kind of down the road. So it'll be interesting. I don't have a perfect answer, but you bring up a really good point regarding the Bitcoin chart. And if Ethereum is on that similar trajectory, those are a lot of gains to be had here in the next year.
Yeah, indeed, a lot of gains. Yeah, I'm asking this question because me myself, I'm swapping between ETH, between BTC, and that's why I'm really curious what to hold and what to hold currently. So right now, I believe that maybe there will be more profitable time for ETH in the next coming of couple of months because of that potential ETFs. So we always are talking by the rumors, so the news, yeah. So we were buying rumors right here, from BTC, right here, buying rumors on ETF. And right here, we have a Selva news event. And right now, we are in a time of buying rumors on ETH. But of course, probably there will be, or maybe, or might be, there will be a little bit better time to buy ETH. Hopefully, I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. But yeah, many people from US are talking about XRP, and not in Europe especially, but in US.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think? Why do you think so many people in especially US are talking about XRP? And when I'm looking at different YouTube channels, etc., many people are talking about XRP. But again, the question: have you ever used XRP ledger?
No, I haven't.
And so many people are talking about it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's a lot of it has to do with I think just the technology, and many people say Ripple, the company, is for the institutions, and like XLM is for the the retail investor. Jed McCaleb, who left XRP Ripple and went to start XLM, they're really focused more on like kind of the small business side of things, whereas like XRP's kind of been deemed the banking coin. So I think maybe because we've seen a lot of retail banks collapse here in the United States in the last year and a half, a lot of people looking at Ripple as, hey, you know what? This is a much better system. Why do we need to go through a middleman and pay these fees, right? Where like we can use Ripple's technology for cross-border payments. So I think people are looking at it just from a standpoint, from an investment standpoint, rather than like, hey, we can use this ourselves. They're saying, hey, if the US does adopt this, it's a much better technology than, like the Swift banking system, which the Swift system, which obviously is outdated and it's been used for a while. But, I think it comes back to community though, too, Julian. It's like this community aspect of XRP dating all the way back from, when you were heavy in crypto too, back in 2017. XRP was the dominant player, right? Like it outpaced Ethereum. It was like the gem, right? And I think you have people that were going all the way back then that have been invested in XRP, and they're still so passionate about that project and what it could bring, to the world for just for everybody. So it's interesting. It hasn't moved at all. I mean, it's just been kind of flatlining since we had the big pump in July. There's a lot of question marks, but I think people also kind of got behind the whole Ripple lawsuit, right? And they had like a team to root for, and they said, okay, it's Ripple versus the SEC. We're Team Ripple, and let's get on that side of things. So that's kind of what I see from that right now. I will say this: I hold more Ethereum than I do XRP. I hold a little bit of XRP, not a ton, because I still think there's a lot of risk there with the lawsuit that's ongoing. But I do definitely, think there's a ton of upside potential too.
Very interesting. And last days, many people are talking about ICP, Internet Computer.
Yeah.
And this is another coin that made a huge profits since last month. And I'm really curious, what do you think about it? Because ICP, Internet Computer, is a different kind of blockchain. It's basically not a typical blockchain. Yesterday, it did an upgrade, and right now you can hold whole Cardano blockchain on only one canister of ICP. Also, ICP lets you to create, the Web3 real, so you can do Web3 without Amazon services, 100% on chain. I'm holding ICP. I'm holding it since different kind of levels, $30, $10, and I was buying it and put my stakes for 8 years, because if you put it for 8 years, you are able to get 20% on staking reward. So I'm a huge believer in a long term, not basically in ICP, but in an idea of Web3. I'm a believer in that it will be necessary to create such a system. I don't know if ICP will do it finally. If maybe it will be Filecoin, maybe it will be something else.
Yeah.
But I know that people need truly decentralized internet in the future. So that's why I invested in this. So it's my investment. I don't care if I get profits on this after this 8 years or no. Maybe yes, maybe no. So I'm curious. What do you think about it?
Yeah. One question for you. I'm curious. What are your thoughts about how it was valued? The value of ICP when it
Yeah, it was evaluation.
crazy, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. But let's talk about ICP. I will put it on a chart. ICP BTC. So ICP had started when the Bitcoin was falling down. ICP was presented to the public in May 2021. It was right after BTC crashed from $59,000. Right after this. So it has a really hard time to start. This is the first thing. Second thing is that huge pre-sale, and bunch of investors were holding ICP tokens since 2015, something like this, for a long period of time. And third thing is, of course, not, in my opinion, really good tokenomics, because if you are getting ROI 20%, so every year you are getting 20% more coins if you are staking them. For example, I staked coins for 8 years, and finally I have 20% ROI return of investment every single year. So this is a huge inflation. For example, on the other hand, XRP, Ripple, has last year had an inflation about 13%. If has an inflation about, it's deflationary basically, probably. Most of the coins are hugely inflationary coins. Most of them, including ICP. Of course, Bitcoin right now isn't. Bitcoin it will be below 1% since after the next halving, through kind of inflation, the supply of Bitcoins into the market. Yeah. So people are getting from US dollar to BTC because of inflation. And inflation on US dollar is from 3% to 8 or something. So this is scary for people. And here on ICP, you have over 20% of yearly inflation. So in my opinion, it was really hard for me to find the ideal bottom of this coin. I was analyzing it, and it was truly hard job to do, to find when people will stop selling. But as always, when I'm investing in something, I'm trying at least to use some dApps, use some applications, feel that ecosystem, feel how it works. So also here I was analyzing it. I was even analyzing the Mokoto language. It was something like this, Mokoto, language of ICP. And this grow really, it was nice, but it was a surprise for me. And I wasn't able to predict it right from this moment, right from this point. But it was really sudden growth. So that is my opinion about ICP. because of that hard time, starting from May 2021, it has hard time to start. Most of people disbelieve that project, and most of people probably sold it too long. But really, it's for me, it's hard to define where is the bottom of this project right now.
Yeah.
That's why I'm putting in this only fraction of my capital.
Yeah, for sure. I think what you said is really really interesting, Julian. I think the idea is amazing. I think everybody can get behind the idea of decentralization and a new internet where centralized authorities don't have the control that they do, and it's truly open source, and it's truly everybody can pitch in and create what they want to create. Will it be ICP that eventually wins? I think you raise a really good point. We don't know, right? It's a super speculative, I think, idea. It's a super speculative project, but that also makes it fun, right? It also makes it interesting, and people like the idea of that, right? Because if it does work, wow, I mean, how amazing would that feel, right? Like 5, 10 years from now, where you say, like, yeah, we called the company that became the new internet. I think the valuation of the company early on, I think definitely threw me for a loop, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't get in it early. I always looked at it as, oh my gosh, it's just way too centralized in terms of the holders, and the valuation of the company was just way too high. But I'm not going to lie to you, like after this pump, it made me take a little bit of a closer look at ICP, and I'm starting to come around to the idea that at these levels, maybe there is some opportunity here from a price standpoint. And then obviously, I'm rooting for ICP. I want to see them achieve what they want to here. I think it would be awesome for everybody in the industry.
Yeah, especially they talked about a lot about creating a ecosystem for holding your BTC without knowing your BTC private keys, your seeds phrase, 100% on ICP blockchain, on Internet Computer blockchain. So this is something which is much different, because basically with their dApps, you are able right now to send or receive Bitcoins only having an access to your Internet Computer identity. You don't need your seeds, you don't need your private keys. It's encrypted in their blockchain, yes, in ICP blockchain.
That's a really unique idea too. What do you think about just the company behind ICP?
Definite Foundation.
Yeah.
What should I think? No, it's when you go to the website, there is so many developers that are working on that ecosystem that you might think that this is fake, because there is so many. In opposite to another blockchains and other projects, on ICP website there is around few hundred different people who are saying that they are developing it. And there is, of course, Dominic Williams, the founder of ICP, and he was collaborating with Vitalik Buterin in 2015, and Vitalik Buterin once said that the greatest projects in the crypto sphere there is among them ICP, Internet Computer, and these are the words of Vitalik Buterin once. So if somebody like Vitalik Buterin is saying something like this, and he was saying it from the technical perspective, IT perspective, so it's hard to not to believe it, not to believe them.
Definitely. Yeah. No, those are some big words from a super influential person. I agree. I'm rooting for them, man. I really hope that they achieve their goals here. And I think, man, that would just be an amazing story. Imagine how many people would rally behind that too. And it would be great. What other altcoins do you like that maybe like are kind of sleepers, kind of under the radar? Not a lot of people talk about them.
Okay, let's talk about altcoins. Let's talk about gems. To be honest, I don't really have some one altcoins that I truly believe, because I'm a skeptic guy.
Yep. Yep.
When somebody is saying me about any altcoin or any project, I'm looking at their holders, at on-chain data. I'm checking everything. I'm checking inflation, tokenomics. I'm a really skeptical guy. I'm pushing away 99% of projects. So it's really hard for me, because I'm every project I'm trying to compare with Bitcoin or ETH.
Right.
So as you can imagine, they are losing most of the times.
Right.
And that's why I'm not holding any altcoin other than ETH and ICP, but ICP a fraction of my portfolio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And but what I'm doing is I'm trying to swap in sometimes a part of my portfolio from BTC or from current currency. Is it the Bitcoin? Is it dollar? Is it ETH? To some altcoins that I do believe that they might grow in a short period of time. Short
Mm-hmm.
period, I mean 1 day, 5 days, something like this. Not so long, because I don't believe projects. Projects are hacked. Project can be delisted from an exchange, and while projects are delisted, they are going down in a matter of seconds, of minutes. So I really value my capital, and I really value every single percent of my capital, and I don't want to lose it. But sometimes there is a situation that there is a huge potential to gain 10 or 5% in a real short period of time. For example, yesterday. Let's talk about it. Yesterday was an information about Google Cloud joining Flare network as a validator. And it was really nice info. It was Max Data posted it right here. And it was also posted on my social media. I also noticed that. And immediately I bought it. And let's take a look at Flare chart. So since yesterday, since that news, Flare did more than 30% since yesterday. More than 30% since yesterday. 33%. And this is right here. Here's the news. I managed to buy it somewhere right here, and I managed to sell it on that line, that red line. So I made on this really nice profit with around I don't know 10 or 20%, 20 something on spot exchange. Maybe right here. Yeah, something like this. So I'm looking for such situations. And while I'm looking for such situations, I'm observing two things. First thing is, what is the current price action of a coin? And if the coin has already had a significant growth in past couple of days, if the coin is below or above moving averages, average price, is it above or is it below? When the Google announced its validation for Flare network, it was right here, not below, not above, but right here at the moving average. Sometimes there are coins that are information, that are news. That some coin has really nice news, but it's already too late. And sometimes it's real nice to buy it really low. So first thing is what I'm looking for is the price, above or below an average. And second thing is, what is the news right now? What is the news that can push the price up? And yesterday, when I noticed that news, immediately I started to analyzing the past situations and how the past situations influenced different coins' price. For example, I will show it to you because I always like to analyze the history and compare how in the past it influenced another coins. Let's find it. All right. All right, you can see it. You can see it. So Tezos. Tezos has a similar situation. That Google Cloud announced that it will start to validating XTZ as a validator, Google Cloud. And immediately in around 12 hours, XTZ rose around 14% in 12 hours. This is the first thing. Second thing, the token, I don't know this token, but XPLA. Again, Google Cloud Validator. In 11 hours, this token grow around 11% in 11 hours. So look at the similarity, the time frame similarity. 11 hours, big, huge grow, and here 12 hours, huge grow. So getting to the point, when Flare Network announced that Google will be validator of its blockchain, immediately we can compare the time frame and ask ourselves where should be the potential greatest time to sell the news. Around after 12 hours, right? So 12 hours was ideally here, as you can see, 12 hours. So this is interesting for me. Mm-hmm. This is interesting. And I'm curious, do you have such ideas also or not?
No, I love it, man. I'm learning a lot. This is interesting. You're right, though. I mean, we've seen with altcoins, it's all about the narrative. It's all about buy the rumor, sell the news. But even when that news comes out, you have a little bit of a runway, right? Probably, like you said, up to 12 hours, and then usually your top forms. I saw you have a great product there, maxdata.app. I use something similar. I had a trading indicator built that takes into account a lot of different data and gives me
you have your indicator.
Yeah, it's xtalgo, xtalgo.com. So I've had this. I've had this built. I've been using it all of 2023 and into 2024. It's been live since August for the public. We've got hundreds of users. It's used for crypto and stocks and Forex and commodity trading. But something like this, I would be heavily looking at that indicator on a tight time frame. So as soon as that news were to come out, I would be looking at XTalgo in like the 15-minute, chart, just to kind of see if my momentum up indicator, which basically says, hey, there could be a big push coming here, see if that were to flash. And if it would, I would certainly jump in and take advantage. And the cool thing that I do is I set up alerts for all the top 100 crypto. So if something starts moving, and even if I'm like on the road or like, out and about or whatever at the mall or whatever with my friends or whatever, I get an alert, and then I immediately say, oh, wait a minute, something's happening here. Let me see if there's news on this. Like, why is this pumping? And then I might, take advantage of that, and make a trade even when I'm on the go. So that's something that's really helped me. But you're right. I mean, if you could play the big news element, especially if they give a date, right? Usually you want to sell on the date because then it's too late. But yeah, so that's kind of what I use there. And I think you're right. Yesterday was a great opportunity. I missed Flare. I didn't have it set up to get my alert on Flare, so I missed it. I was too late. But hopefully catch the next one.
The connection. Yeah. Do you hear me right now?
Yeah, I hear you perfect. Good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Something with the connection was today. All right. Yeah, I have to check your website for sure, and you have to tell me about it more, about this XT algo.
For sure.
You have alerts right here on your website, yeah?
Go
alerts? Ahead. You can create an alerts.
So it all works with TradingView. So basically, the indicator itself embeds itself on TradingView, and then yes, by getting the TradingView app on your phone, you could set customized alerts set up with that. I know you had Mark on your channel, a buddy of mine too, Not Your Father's Capital, and he's an affiliate of mine too, so he helps.
Yeah, he told me about it.
Yeah, he helps sell XT Algo too, and yeah, it's an amazing tool. I've had it built by a really, really, really good person who works for the second biggest company who builds indicators. I found him, and I was so happy that he was willing to do it. And yeah, so it's worked really, really well thus far, and it definitely helps with altcoins. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like there. You could set up your alert.
Basically, you can set up an automation for buying and selling.
Correct. Yeah.
Can I ask, for example, how this indicator is created, or is it a mystery?
Well, it's I'll tell you this. It takes in a lot of different data, but like I don't want to give that all away because then somebody could just go build the same one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's taking in things like moving averages. It's taking in things like the MACD. It's taking in things like the RSI. It takes in a number of different data points and kind of consolidates it down to just simply momentum up, momentum down. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to create something simple rather than have all of this stuff going on in the chart. It's so hard to understand, like, okay, which indicator do I follow, right? Let's consolidate it all down, make it simple. And it's really worked well. And I think people enjoy it so far, man. I've gotten a ton of great feedback. Like when Solana pumped, people made like a ton of money on Solana earlier this year when it started to pump, because our indicator flashed around like $11 or $12. And then obviously it didn't give the sell signal until much higher, around over $100. So it's been good, man. So I love hearing your kind of angle too. And I'm learning here, man. This is what it's all about, getting different ideas. And so hopefully everybody out there is listening too. And I know some people chiming in on the chat over on my YouTube channel are really appreciating the conversation. So
yeah, man. I also love to hear new things. And by the way, on Max Data, we are also building our own indicators.
Okay.
And I know what it's mean to create new kind of indicator. For example, indicator that we are working right now on, one indicator is built out of plenty different types of data, and it costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. One indicator to be built, because it's connected to so many types of different data.
Yep.
So I understand the value of this.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I wanted to build it at first just to help, just to see if it would work, right? So I spent a lot of money on it, and I said, okay, before I sell this, let me use it. And so I used it for 3-4 months, give or take. And I'm like, okay, this works, and then it's a whole process taking it to market and getting a website built. But it's fun, man, and I think if you can build something like this, software as a service, which it looks like you're building something similar, and you can add value to the people that we talk to every day, and we know they're traders, we know that they could use these tools, it's amazing, right? Because you're just helping people have better things at their disposal that they can use and help them, make money.
Yeah. Always when I'm trying to make some money on the market and find some coins
Hmm.
to speculate on the growth, because I'm doing only spot.
Yeah.
I always finish with trying to create a system to find in it. I always finish in trying to find a way to systematically repeat the task, not to do it only once, because it's a huge amount of energy. If I would try every day to find some coins and search for in the internet, I will be sleeping not at all. But
Right.
I wanted to show you something in the end, because we are talking for almost an hour right now, so we can finish it for today.
Yeah.
And we can continue another time. I like to talk with you. It's interesting. It's fast. So let's continue. But I wanted to show you something. Today I was doing a live stream with my community, and they told me that they noticed, for example, that there are two coins, simple one, Avi. Avi is lending platform, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And there is another lending platform, which is called Compound, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So when you find similar projects in a same sphere, like for example, ICP and Filecoin, or Avi and Compound, or Cardano and ETH, similar projects from the same category. So we noticed that many, most of the times when Avi is pumping really fast, the compound is also starting to pump. And I don't know if you noticed that previously on different coins, for example, but there is some kind of scheme that we can find, that plenty of the times we can see move first on bigger project and then on the lower project. Right? Do you agree with me right now?
That's interesting. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I've never thought about it like in that way, but you're right. I mean, it seems like maybe it's a little bit of a delayed reaction too.
Delay
Like,
reaction, yeah.
yeah, for the smaller cryptos, the smaller market
So
caps.
think about it. I'm sorry. So think about it right now. There is a huge money to make on the market because of the delays. Of course, the whole market is delayed. I mean, there's stock market first. After stock market is BTC. After BTC, large caps, mid caps, altcoins, etc. But we can. I want to show you something which will be really interesting for you as a analytic. Once again, so on Avi, the BTC, let's find the moments that Avi started to moving up around, let's it be, for example, 3% in 1 minute. Let's check it. If in the past compound reacted to this or not. We are creating an alert, simple alert. And then I want to backtest this alert. Here it is. From the 2023 April. Let's backtest it. It will do calculations for 1 minute maybe. And in the end, we will have a chart showing us whether after this situation, after AVI growing 3% in 1 minute, whether, for example, compound started to growing, started to falling, started to, doing nothing. After doing this backtest right here, we will get every situation from past almost 1 year, past nine months. We'll get every situation from past 9 months, and each of the situation will be put on the same chart, and we will see on the chart what happened directly after such event on average. We'll see it on average. 3% in 1 minute. AVI to BTC, it's 15%, so we'll wait a little bit. But before it will finish, I will show you another results of backtests I did a few days ago, and I will show it randomly. Okay, right here, it's also AVI. It's a different backtest, and this is AVI going up 5% in 5 minutes. You can see it, right? Yes. Right now, you can see it. AVI 5% in 5 minutes. And this kind of situation in the past 9 months was only 9, as you can see. Each event is shown, is projected right here. Here is a situation, here is a pro alert, here's a moment of AVI growing. And here we are analyzing a BTC price to USD. How BTC price reacted to this. BTC price reacted most of the times going down. But let's take a look at compound. And compound to BTC started to growing in 5 days around 8% on average. Yeah, we can also find another coins. I don't know, maybe this one. I don't know what we will see. So we are seeing right here the 2 lines, an average change, the blue one, and a median change, the green one. I will show you another backtest results. Yeah, I have DXY growing. So let's take a look at this chart. And DXY growing, the US dollar index is going up. Most of the times it's not good news for BTC, right? And look at this. When this situation was triggered, the DXY growing, right after it, BTC on average crashed around more than 1%, almost 2%. On average, And these situations was triggered, these events was counted 26 times in past 1 year. In past 1 year, 26 times. So here is an average price change below and after DXY suddenly going up. And by the way, I don't want to sell it to anybody, to you or to your community, because this is not to sell currently. And this is only, for me and for my friends to use for our users, but for little amount of Max Data users, little group. But I wanted to show it to you that what we are working on. That we are working on really interesting tools.
I love it, man. Yeah, this is very unique, very different. Let me know when it does go live. I'm very curious to see what other tools you have here. This is really cool.
Yeah, man. And by the way, about alerts, we are also creating a really interesting way to alert about different situations, because most of the times, BTC is going up or alts. You told me that altcoins are going up or down, and you are setting a price alerts, right? So imagine if you will be able to create an alert not only when some altcoin is going really low, but for example, you will be able to connect one alert that you just created, for example, for your altcoin, with a different alert that may suggest that BTC or this altcoin will go even higher. For example, price action plus RSI, or price action plus funding rates on BTC.
I see.
So basically, what we are able to what we created, and this is also not publicly available right now, but we created a system to connect alerts into one, and get notifications only when few situations will happen in a one period of time. Right here, for example, or a different one. Let's take a look. You can see my screen, right? You hear alerts. BTC going up. Yeah, it's just, simple. DXY going up, and reserve of Bitcoins on exchanges going up also. So when DXY is going up and when reserve of Bitcoins on exchanges is going up also, I can, get an alert. Only when these two things will happen in a same period of time. Or Cardano. Yeah. Cardano price. Different alert. Let's take a look. Here. Bitcoin RSI above 50. Coinbase, Binance traders buying, and funding rates high. So possible moment to sell Bitcoin. And by the way, I can backtest this also. I can simply, backtest this situation and check how in the past it impacted the price of Bitcoin. If it's impacted positively, negatively, if the price of Bitcoin went up or went down after such an event.
That's cool. I love that. Yeah, that's changing the game, and then you can kind of play around with different scenarios until you find something that you really like that's worked, once, twice, 3, 4 times in a row.
Yeah. Basically, it's a kind of statistical analysis.
I like it.
It's called like this, statistical analysis.
I like it. That's really cool. So when do you think it'll be live? Like for you don't know?
Yeah, man, I will tell you something. You are working with developers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know how it works.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Ethereum. You know, they delay, they delay, they delay.
Yeah.
Every single quarter they delay something. So in a development, it's similar. I'm telling people that it will be alive since last year, since 2021. I'm telling people that it will be soon, 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 soon.
Yeah.
Right now it's working. You know, so right now I'm using it. It's working. So I know that it can be alive. You know. Tomorrow it can, maybe tomorrow not, but next in next 2 weeks or next month,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm already using it and I know it's working. But you know, there's still some upgrades, still some mistakes you want to find.
Definitely. Definitely. No, I understand completely. Very
And it
cool.
costs a
Yeah.
time, but if you create something, it feels nice, especially if you can trade because of this and speculate because of this better.
Right. Right. Because we're all trying to just gain a little bit of an edge, right? I mean, any kind of edge that we can get um, gives us a better chance, you know. Uh, because we know that the sharks, man, they have all their tools.
Yeah, we are the sharks, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
but really, I'm curious. You know, what do you think about artificial intelligence and neural networks? But it's another topic
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to
Let's.
talk about.
I want to do this again too, and let's maybe like dive into AI cryptos too. AI and
Yeah, we
blockchain.
should. We definitely should, because
You know.
this will be the next trend
Mm-hmm.
in this cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And find bitcoins, analyze their tokenomics,
Mm-hmm.
find levels to go in.
Yep.
It will be profitable.
Yep. I agree. I agree.
It will be profitable. All right, man. Thank you very much for today, and thanks that you are hosting it on your social media. It was
Yeah.
pleasure to meet you, to talk with you.
Yeah. Likewise, Julian. Thanks so much for putting it together, and thank you to everybody out there who's listening and watching today. And have a great one. Let's do it again soon.
Let's do it again soon. Cheers.